You guys sick of GameStop Pokemon Power Pack content yet? I hope not, because that is all I am seemingly capable of these days. Case in point, you might be thinking that with a setup like this, I would be opening some traditional old school Pokemon cards, but nope. Today we are opening GameStop's version of their in-store Pokemon mystery packs, which are also called Power Packs. Additionally, we'll be opening some of the online version we've come to love for comparison, so expect some Power Pack on Power Pack violence. Let's find out which packs are the more powerful. Okay, so these are the GameStop Power Packs Series 3 that came out a few weeks ago, and I believe these MSRP'd at like $70. Unfortunately, I was unable to get any of this at that relatively reasonable price, and I am ashamed to admit that I bought this at the market price, which I think currently is like around $120. Definitely not advisable for you to go out and pay that much for something like this. I basically got this primarily for content. If I wasn't making content, I would never buy this at that exorbitant price. But anyways, what you get with these are one slab guaranteed to be PSA 8 or above, and if you're at least a little familiar with this hobby, that basically means nothing. In addition, you get 2 booster packs. I'm not sure what they are. Hopefully, you know, there's some that are relatively rare, maybe like Toddy Evolved, something like that. But yeah, that is about it that you get for around $70. There are no minimum guarantees, similar to how they are with the online power packs, and transparency is not the greatest with these, besides just the packs and the slab. Yeah, so we're gonna open this first, and then we're gonna compare them to the online power pack version. For what reason, I don't really know. There's really no comparison between these two, but yeah, thought it would make a good title. Anyways, here we go. Okay, so the box looks pretty good. I think the production value on these is actually pretty cool. It's got the mascot for GameStop, I suppose. And then when you open it, you see the packs that you get. And it turns out we have received Surging Sparks and Destined Rivals, which is actually not that bad. 2 of the better sets from the SV era. And it does look like we have vintage. Looks like Zapdos non-holo from Fossil, not first edition. So I'm pretty sure we got wrecked, even if this comes out as a PSA 10. So definitely not worth the $100 that we put in. But first of all, let's see what we get with our packs. All right, Surging Sparks up first. Of course, we would need at least an illustration rare to compete with the online version because of their minimum guarantees, and it does not look like we are getting one out of our first pack. But if we were to get a hit, I would of course prefer it to be out of Destined Rivals. Okay, Quilava. Our first reverse, second reverse, and of course, to no one's surprise, got completely blanked on those 2 booster packs. But let's look at our slab now. I do like that GameStop covers up the grade to add a little bit of trauma when you open. But yeah, just looking at this, I see some winding on the back. This is probably a 9. But now for the big reveal, a 9. So yeah, this is probably like a $30, $40 slab if I had to guess. Actually not really sure what this is, but I'm mostly just happy at my ability to call the grade. Yeah, now that I see it, this should probably be more like an 8, but this is a really old cert, so that would explain why this would be an 8. And I'm pretty sure if I crack this and send this out in this modern era with a very strict grading, this would come back an 8, maybe even a 7. But yeah, pretty sure we got completely wrecked with our $100 investment into this GameStop Power Pack. But let's see if the online Power Packs have any better luck for us. All right, back to the comfort of familiar territory. Because I spent around $100 on the physical GameStop Power Pack, we'll be opening 2 silver Power Packs here, and then we'll be ending up on 1 gold. So that'll be $100 worth of silver packs, and then that $100 gold Power Pack. And then we'll be comparing the value to what we're able to pull out of the physical GameStop Power Pack, which was a PSA 9 Zapdos non-hollow, non-first edition from Fossil, which is around like $25, $26, and we got nothing out of the booster packs. So mathematically, we are incapable of getting wrecked any more than the physical GameStop Power Packs wrecked us with the digital Power Packs. But for the sake of comparisons, we'll continue on. Okay, so first up is our first silver. Here are the chases. Yeah, a bunch of cool stuff, but we max out at around $800. Only 0.1% chance of hitting those though. Yeah, would really love to get this Gengar alt art in even though it's in a 5. Love that art. But yeah, first silver pack up, and away we go. Let's see if we're able to beat that Zapdos with just 1 silver pack pull. How crazy would it be if we pulled a Zapdos here too though? Japanese. The Burger Chew automatically completely smashed the GameStop physical power pack. Don't have to pull even any more cards because of course we pulled a $75 card, which is actually worth more than the MSRP of these physical GameStop power packs. So yeah, off to a pretty hot start these digital power packs are. And wow, this Burger Chew has plummeted in price. We just pulled a couple of these in our last stream and they were like 86 in a PSA 10. So in a matter of days, value dropped by like 15%. Insane. But next silver up. Even if we hit floor at this point, it would still be about even value, which is something these physical power packs can only aspire to achieve. English. Moltres is a 9. I love this card. And yes, it does appear that we have been floored, but we are at the very least $2 over our value, our average value-wise. But yeah, let's just double check, make sure that this is actually worth $27. These promo Moltres impossibly hard to grade. I tried to grade like 4 or 5 of them. I just pulled them directly from the tin, and I think I was only able to get 110. So yeah, sucks because I really love this art. Of course, legendary because it is from a legendary artist, Shinji Kanda. But it does look like kind of appropriately priced, maybe even slightly under by a couple dollars, but yeah, about there. So to recap, silvers provided us about $100 worth of value back on the $100 we spent, which absolutely blows the physical GameStop Power Pack out of the water. Next up is gold. And if you attended the last stream, the Battle Royale, you know how hard these gold packs can hit. So fully expect these to completely embarrass the physical power pack. All right, our one and only gold pack coming up. Japanese again. I don't think this is a $100 card. Yes, we have been floored, unfortunately, with our one and only gold pack. But of course, this is a much cooler card, not only in value, but also in art compared to that Zapdos from Fossil we got in a 9. In my opinion. I probably have drawn the ire of many vintage fans out there, but I'd rather have this card, to be honest. Even though, not the biggest fan of any of these 3 Pokemon, it's just a tag team in a 10. But yeah, looks pretty correctly priced at around 60. And so, once again, to no one's surprise, this gold pack, even though we were completely floored, still beats the GameStop physical power pack. And I'm not sure, I haven't seen too many openings, but I have to think that we probably got like the worst one. So Not, of course, it's a small sample size, not really an indication of what your experience is going to be with the GameStop physical power packs, but the huge difference here is that you cannot get a card lower than half of your stated average. And on average, you are going to get back what you put in. You know, just to elucidate that point, let's pull one more gold because why not? So of course, still a very small sample size, but it would be nice to get a card that balances out this 4 card that I just got. And a 7, interesting. Okay, so still getting a little bit wrecked here with the 80. Of course, these are famously impossible to grade. And in the previous video, I thought this was a metal card. Not gonna make that mistake again. But you know, let's just roll one more. Okay, last one, I promise. Like 100, probably at this point, like $170 card to break even. Hey, it's the Elite Clifford SAR. There we go. There we go. Not sure what lesson to be learned here, but it's probably not a good one. Of course, the obvious lesson being just keep gambling. But I think the bigger lesson here is that these GameStop digital power packs are probably a much better value proposition than the physical power packs, especially if you're paying over MSRP, which I unfortunately did. Let's take a look at it. I did notice some whitening on the back, so pretty certain that it is not a good candidate to get regraded. So yeah, definitely see some whitening on the bottom left, bottom right. Top right looks good, but then yeah, top left looks to be considerably damaged, so definitely not a candidate to regrade it, but I don't really care. I've been chasing this card for a while, was hoping to pull this out of the many packs of Journey Together that I've opened, but it does seem like GameStop Power Packs is the way to go. But yes, as I promised, last GameStop Power Pack, but it's a good thing that this last pull sort of elucidated the point that I was trying to make, that you do get back the stated average value, which is basically $100 if you put $100 in. And with the silvers, I did exactly that. And with the golds, I imagine I did exactly that as well. The average is 99%, 99 out of 100. So average is basically there. So yeah, I think these digital power packs, at this point, it sounds like I am an absolute shill for these power packs, but I'm being truly earnest in saying that the stated average value does seem to be honest and forthcoming from GameStop, and then it does present a pretty risk-free way to engage with the hobby comparatively, especially to physical mystery repacks, and of course, especially to just opening booster packs on your own. But yeah, that is about it for the video. Let me know in the comments if any of you were able to get your hands on some of these physical power packs and what your experience has been. I imagine they were much better than mine, especially if you guys were able to open the Bubble Mew. That was kind of the cover card for this series of power packs. But yeah, that is about it for the video. Thank you all so very much for hanging out, and dear friends and fellow collectors, till next time.